Following several reports of a rare eye disorder associated with obesity, drugs called GLP-1RAs, post-market surveillance and real-world evidence show an elevated risk of the condition, which could have significant implications for the market. Hi, I'm here. In this report, we break down the latest findings on this important safety signal, discuss potential impacts on the market, and analyze the strategic responses needed to preserve market access and patient care. We will also look at key case scenarios showing how top players like Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly might navigate this challenge. Let us start with the latest update on this safety signal and then walk through what it means for the market and how leading companies could respond. Key findings and safety signal. In May, a large-scale analysis of 13 million electronic health records found a higher than expected rate of non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy, or NAION, among people who started GLP-1 therapy compared to matched controls, particularly in those with pre-existing diabetes, hypertension, or sleep apnea. Several recent cases of NAION following semaglutide therapy have been reported to the EMA Pharmacovigilance Risk Assessment Committee, or PRAC, prompting investigation. The cases span multiple countries across Europe since January 2022. Notably, the onset of NAION was reported to occur within months of starting semaglutide therapy. Symptoms include sudden, often painless vision loss. And once diagnosed, the condition is usually irreversible without timely intervention. To date, the EMA has not issued any safety warnings or changed the benefit-risk profile of semaglutide-containing products like Ozempic and Wegovy. But the committee expects to complete its analysis by September 2023. On July, JAMA Ophthalmology published an additional case series describing 9 new patients with NAION following semaglutide therapy. All cases occurred within 5 months of starting the drug, with most presenting during the first month. Importantly, the authors note that prior vascular risk factors, such as hypertension, were common, as were signs of underlying vascular compromise on fundoscopic exam. Here's a quick primer on NAION. It is a rare but serious optic neuropathy characterized by sudden vision loss, usually in one eye, caused by reduced blood flow to the optic nerve head. People over 50 and those with cardiovascular disease are at increased risk. While the condition can resolve spontaneously in some cases, prompt diagnosis and treatment are crucial to prevent permanent vision loss. Our analysis suggests that the full impact of this evolving safety signal may not emerge immediately, but rather unfold gradually over the next 2 to 3 years. Market impact. There are 3 main areas of impact: market access, patient stratification, and commercial risk. Regarding market access, there are 2 immediate effects. First, more restrictive labeling or even a black box warning may be added to current semaglutide-based therapies, although no decision has been made yet by the EMA or other agencies. Second, prescribers may exercise heightened caution when prescribing for patients at risk of NAION, such as those with multiple comorbidities. This could lead to initial reluctance toward GLP-1RAs for moderate-risk individuals who do not meet inclusion criteria for clinical trials. In the near term, however, these effects may be partially offset by continued strong demand driven by unmet needs in the obesity market. Regarding patient stratification, various studies are ongoing to identify genetic, vascular, and imaging-based biomarkers that could help stratify risk of developing NAION. Once validated, these biomarkers will likely be incorporated into future prescribing guidelines. For example, retinal optical coherence tomography, or OCT, may be used as a baseline assessment to quantify optic nerve health. Blood pressure monitoring, inflammation panels, and other tests may also factor into risk scores to help identify patients who may be at higher risk of optic complications. Moving forward, patients with concerning risk profiles will likely require baseline risk stratification before starting GLP-1 therapy. This trend will affect not only neophyte users, but also moderate-risk patients currently maintained on stable doses of GLP-1RAs. Finally, regarding commercial risk, payers and pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, are likely to scrutinize formularies more closely to ensure the appropriate use of GLP-1 In particular, payers will closely monitor patients with known vision-related comorbidities like diabetic retinopathy. Formulary tiers and payer algorithms are likely to begin prioritizing GLP-1 alternatives for patients flagged as high risk for optic complications. As such, the total addressable market, or TAM, for GLP-1 obesity drugs could shrink by 15 to 20% over the next 2 to 3 years as a result of these trends. With that said, it is still too early to gauge the full financial impact on product sales or the extent of formulary restrictions. However, proactive stakeholders will recognize these shifts as an opportunity to strengthen market resilience through early integration of ocular monitoring, biomarker-based patient stratification, and protective combination therapies. Let's now review some case scenarios illustrating how leading players are strategically responding to this evolving situation. Case scenario analysis to leading companies in the GLP-1 space. Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly face similar challenges yet hold distinct advantages that could shape their response. We'll start with Novo Nordisk, maker of Ozempic and Wegovy. Currently, Novo Nordisk holds the largest share in the obesity market and possesses extensive real-world data capabilities through initiatives like the Real-World Evidence Alliance, or RWEA. To maintain its dominant position, Novo Nordisk could implement a three-pronged approach. First, enhance market access by proactively engaging with payers and policymakers to showcase the benefits and cost-effectiveness of its therapies when appropriately prescribed. Second, adopt a more granular approach to patient stratification, leveraging the RWEA platform to study biomarkers predictive of NAION risk, refine algorithms for risk stratification, and implement scalable methods for routine screening. Third, explore novel combination therapies to mitigate optic side effects while expanding treatment options. Given its broad portfolio of metabolic disease treatments, Novo Nordisk has ample opportunities to co-formulate semaglutide with neuroprotectants, anti-inflammatory agents, or vasoprotective agents. This approach could unlock new patient populations previously deemed off-limits, such as those with pre-existing vascular conditions. Now let's look at Eli Lilly, the rising competitor in the obesity market with its GLP-1 dual agonist, Zepbound. While smaller than Novo Nordisk's portfolio, Eli Lilly has shown strategic focus on integrated digital health, notably through device partnerships like the Dexcom co-prescribing program. Leveraging these assets, Eli Lilly could implement a two-pronged approach. First, embed AI-powered retinal screening tools for high-risk patients within the Zepbound companion app. This would enable early detection of optic nerve perfusion loss, swelling, or other disc abnormalities before clinical symptoms arise. Second, expand Zepbound's value proposition beyond weight loss by bundling retinal scans and AI diagnostics as part of the overall treatment experience. This would allow for continuous monitoring and iterative dosing adjustments based on longitudinal changes in retinal health. Further, Eli Lilly could position Zepbound as the safer GLP-1 by integrating new combination therapies that include vasoprotective agents like nitric oxide modulators or VEGF inhibitors. This strategy could attract both patients seeking alternatives to semaglutide and payers seeking more comprehensive and accountable care solutions. For a joint scenario, Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly could form an industry consortium to further investigate this safety signal. By pulling real-world evidence and collaborating on algorithm validation, they can establish best practices for AI-based ocular screening and ultimately improve regulatory goodwill and mitigate reputational and commercial risk. Such an alliance would also present a unified front to payers and other stakeholders, ensuring transparency and accountability. Strategic forecast looking ahead to 2025, we anticipate that AI-enabled ocular screening will become a clinical and regulatory expectation rather than an optional add-on. Companies that invest in earlier detection, Stratified prescribing and risk-adjusted care delivery will sustain long-term value capture and secure regulatory insulation. Moreover, the obesity care model is likely to evolve into multimodal platforms where drugs, diagnostics, and data analytics converge to support safe, scalable treatment. In conclusion, as the GLP-1 class faces increasing scrutiny over rare but severe eye complications, leaders like Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly have an opportunity to redefine risk management through AI-driven retinal imaging, precision medicine, and therapeutic innovation. Those who act now to incorporate real-world evidence, AI diagnostics, and personalized care models will not only protect market access, but also set the standard for future obesity therapeutics in a safety-sensitive, value-based healthcare economy. If you want to dive deeper into our obesity drug tracker, which provides a comprehensive view of the evolving obesity therapeutics market, hit the subscription button. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.